Master Chief may have finished the fight in Halo 3, but just because he ended the war and is taking a well-deserved vacation doesn't mean the franchise has to lay dormant. You may not be playing as the faceless hero this time around, but the many other elements that make the Halo games so thrilling are showcased beautifully in this latest adventure. The action-packed campaign is awesome, perfectly mixing wide-open battles with tight corridor ambushes, and the serene detective portions between each chapter add a layer of thoughtfulness previously absent from the series. The hour-devouring competitive multiplayer from Halo 3 makes the transition intact, with all 21 previously released maps along with 3 new ones created just for this adventure. The highlight of this impressive package is Firefight, a cooperative mode that pulls the spectacular combat sequences from the campaign and makes them even more intense. This thrilling shooter is a blast, whether you're playing all alone, working with friends, or battling your arch rivals. ODST takes place just before the events of Halo 3. Below the ruined city of New Mombasa, there's some very important information that could help swing the war in the good guys' favor. You play as a member of the ODST dubbed the Rookie.
Wake up, Buttercup.
Relax, Rookie. He don't mean nothing.
And as you can imagine, something horrible goes wrong just after you're deployed.
Hey, Buster, shoot! We're going in hard!
After a near-fatal crash landing, you wake up 6 hours later and have no idea where your fellow squad members are. The city is pitch black, with platoons of Covenant soldiers stationed in deadly packets around the city. The story itself is nothing special, but the method in which it is conveyed is quite cool. As you wander around this hostile environment, you come across clues left behind by your fellow squad mates. When you pick up these items, you are transported a few hours into the past and get to play through those scenes. There's a huge difference between your time spent as the Rookie and the sequences in which you are transported into the boots of another soldier. New Mombasa at night is almost completely dark, so you'll have to strap on your night vision goggles if you want to see where you're going. These goggles cast the screen in a dull green, but they also highlight important aspects of the environment you should pay attention to. This high contrast view does take a bit of getting used to, but you'll need it to make your way across the city. The foreboding music and suffocating atmosphere create a feeling of loneliness and tension previously unseen in the series. If you're hungry for more story details, there are audio logs hidden across the city that flesh out this tale. When you jump into the memories of your comrades, things begin to look a lot more like classic Halo. The 10 chapters are expertly paced. The explosive weapons and industrious vehicles from the previous games in the series return, but they are doled out at a tantalizing rate, always giving players something new to play around with just before they tire of their last toy. The levels are generally well designed, taking full advantage of the city in which the bulk of your battles take place. The set-piece battles that erupt here are fantastic. These confrontations are intense and challenging, but they never feel cheap. The levels are not all perfect in ODST though. The outdoor sections are wild and explosive, but many of the interiors suffer from repetition. A few levels have a bland, cut-and-paste feel, and the lack of visual variety leads to a feeling of monotony. Also, your screen fades to an ugly red every time you are shot, and doesn't return to normal until your shields completely regenerate. This effect triggers too quickly, hindering your view even if you aren't in any immediate danger of dying. Most of the campaign is awesome though. Like its forebears, ODST really shines when you get to take a joyride in a vehicle. There are only a few levels in the game that showcase these, but they are all an absolute blast. The best of these stages comes early on, in a sprawling, brightly lit location alongside a beach. The game isn't nearly as challenging on board one of these sweet rides, but these levels do a good job of tossing in an obstacle right when you start to relax. You'll have to stay alert or risk blowing up spectacularly. The 4-player cooperative campaign is a little shorter than previous games in the series, but there is still plenty to do when you finish your quest. Firefight mode is a new addition to the franchise, and it is an incredible experience for anyone who enjoys shooting grunts and brutes. The rules are simple. You and up to 3 friends shoot wave after wave of attackers until your shared pool of lives has been used up. Each progressive wave ramps up in difficulty, so while you start off by picking on hapless grunts, you soon graduate to jackals and chieftains. Adding to the difficulty are skulls, which imbue your enemies with deadly abilities or hamper your team with debilitating handicaps. The 10 levels offer more than just cosmetic differences. Each of the levels requires a different approach. Firefight is incredible and addictive because it constantly forces you to change your tactics and work as a tightly knit team. Because both lives and ammunition are limited, you have to make smart choices and protect your friends with all you've got. Firefight is a fantastic addition to the Halo franchise. Competitive multiplayer hasn't been forgotten, though it doesn't have the wow factor like the other elements of the game. Both the biggest strength and weakness of competitive play is that it has been transplanted wholesale from Halo 3. It has the same maps, rule types, and matchmaking system from the previous Halo shooter. It also lets you save films, snap screenshots, and mess around with level construction in the Forge mode. If you have already played Halo 3's multiplayer to death, the only new aspect is 3 new maps. But this is still one of the finest competitive shooters ever created, and if you never purchased the many downloadable maps in Halo 3, there are tons of new environments to check out. Halo 3 ODST is a fantastic package. It's disappointing that the multiplayer is recycled from the previous game, but it's still great fun, and just about every other piece of this adventure is incredible. Aside from some cut and paste level design, the campaign is awesome, stringing together a steady stream of intense set-piece battles that are challenging, rewarding, and non-stop fun. Firefight is even more thrilling, an exhilarating cooperative mode that is super addictive. ODST is a great addition to the franchise and a must-play for anyone who craves top-notch action.